You ever heard the saying, setting yourself up for failure? I'm pretty good at that. And this is what the Confessions of a Food Addict is about. We tend to set ourselves up for failure by setting unrealistic expectations. And I'm going to do this once again. And this is my new program that I've decided to undertake. It may seem extreme, but there's a theory behind my madness. Let's say I have a food addiction, and primarily food addiction is caused by sugar, but it also can be caused by other savory ingredients like fat and salts and spices can increase your appetite. So if that's true, then if I eat bland foods that don't have any savoriness to it at all, and foods I don't like, so you can see where the self-destruction comes into play here, then in theory, I should hate eating, and I won't eat as much. Or definitely won't eat the sugary, well, eating sugary food begets sugary food, and that's one of the things I've realized is sweeteners, although I don't have any problems with sweet and low and other kind of artificial sweeteners, the findings have been that the sweeteners themselves cause you to crave sweet foods. If we turn off those sweet receptors, what happens? And that's sort of my experiment here. So this is the beginning of week 1. I fasted on Sunday, and I started the day off with simply an orange and some oatmeal. Nothing in the oatmeal. And that's part of the thing, is eat things very bland, so there's not a lot of flavor to them. This was also based on something I realized. A guy was talking about going through chemotherapy and how he lost his appetite because all food tasted like cardboard. I thought, well, that's kind of convenient. So there was no enjoyment of eating. So the self-destructive aspect of this is, can you really stay with such a diet? Eating foods that you don't like, that don't have any savoriness to them. Now, I'm going to go all vegetarian just because I've never done it. I've always had some meat in my diet. I've never really tried to steer clear of meats and stuff. So I am going to try to be adding, make sure I have enough protein and stuff like that through nuts and other high protein foods. I'm going to actually try to do some raw potatoes. Now, if you've ever tried a raw potato, you know it's not very savory, so I had to do a little research on it to make sure it was safe to actually eat raw potato. But there's some good characteristics of potatoes. They do have some protein in them, and you can actually eat enough potato to nourish you. So the goal is to do it, kind of look for cheap ways of doing it too. You know, inexpensive foods, raw foods. I'm not going to say I won't cook foods, but so it will be veganous, and I'll see how that goes. So it's an experiment because I am a junk food addict. Once I get started, I can't stop. Yes, we know this. Look at. Anyways, I thought it might be fun to do. So if you ever see a food addiction on my title, you'll know that this is. I'll warn you right now, I'm going to do it every Monday. I'll do an update to show you how it's going. They will never be longer than 10 minutes. They can be less. That's up to me. But I don't want them longer than 10 minutes, so I can guarantee you that. But you can avoid them. A lot of people create new channels and stuff like that. It's too much work. If it becomes a point that it becomes annoying and people don't want to deal with it, then let me know, because I do appreciate the subscribers, and this is probably not what you subscribe for. But there is an actual element of it that you may not realize. It does have to do with what we're talking about when we talk about ethics, when we talk about morality in society, is self-control, or the Sam Harris works on the idea of consciousness, and that we're not really consciously in control. So that's some of the basis in terms of thinking about what happens when you try to control your body. Now, I believe a lot of the food addiction is based on body reactions to food. So the body is signaling to the brain what it wants. Now, how much the brain is signaling back to the body, there's always a synergy between the two. But, oh, by the way, this hair thing, I don't shave this hair off until I reach that goal weight that you saw at the beginning of this video. So if I never reach the goal, I never cut the hair. Now I'm going to trim it and keep it and that kind of thing. But in general, as long as the hair is there, you know that I haven't reached that goal. Once I reach the goal, then it all comes off. It's just giving me some sort of physical outward sign that I am actually in the process of doing something. And this is in religion, the rituals, the importance of rituals and how rituals help program you to continue to do things. That's the cat, by the way, in the background. It's to keep you mindful of what you're doing. So that's a part of the ritualistic nature of religion. And in waking up, Sam is talking a lot about that waking up of different aspects of our life. And one of the aspects of my life is the food, being mindful of the food that I'm eating. So this is sort of a meditative approach to eating. We'll see if that really works. But it's an experiment, and one way to keep yourself honest and keep yourself accountable is actually make yourself accountable. And so that's what I'm doing with this video. I was going to say, in terms of the mindfulness, I'm not going to allow myself to eat except at a table. I'm not going to allow myself to drink except at a table. So I have to sit and eat, sit and drink, and that's really all I can do. I can't be reading and eating or anything like that. So it has to be a very mindful experience of what I'm eating. So, like today, I said I've had oatmeal and an orange. Now I'm going to try to eat on a regular schedule. There again, mindful appointment eating. I hear this good. It's one of the few things that diversity in body, generally in terms of exercise, it's supposed to be good to change it up a lot in terms of your exercise routine, because you get a homeostasis. But when it comes to eating, it turns out that a very standard eating cycle helps, because your body then adjusts to that and prepares for eating. I don't know exactly how it goes. If anyone knows any more about that and wants to talk about that, I'd be really interested. I'll do some more research on that. But right now, I'm just sort of forging ahead. There's no time like the present. You just say, hey, I got this crazy idea. Let's go ahead and try it, see what happens. So yeah, food addiction is really a serious problem in our country, the United States, and actually the world. Too many savory foods. I'm thinking of it as recreational eating. Do you think that's a good term for it? We do a lot of recreational eating. And that's what I really feel like it is. It's kind of like a recreation for our taste buds. So I've been on diets before. I don't like, you're not supposed to use the term diet, but food lifestyle. But I've allowed myself a lot of savory tasting things. I used a lot of sweeteners and stuff like that. I just could not imagine going without those things. So I just, these things happen. We get these crazy ideas up our butt, and we say, I wonder what would happen if we did this. So this is an experiment. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And so this is the beginning of week 1. We could call it week 0. And another rule I'm sort of putting myself on is I don't want to spend a lot of time in focusing on it. It's once a week, Monday. I'll do these videos to keep myself honest, to give progress updates and stuff like that, and talk about the mindfulness that I feel is working, isn't working. Am I obsessing over foods? What kind of foods I absolutely can't choke down? And I'm going to be experimenting with eating a bunch of different foods. If you have any ideas or things that you think I'd hate, think, hey, you should try this. It's really good for you too. Anyways, my 10 minutes is up. Thanks for watching. Bye.